10 of those.
They're one board
instead
and
of a 10-inch board.
You use each of the boards as you go through.
Correct.
Break the subsequent boards afterwards.
Correct,
But we have Taylor do it. It was really because we're a low budget show, and boards cost money. Home Depot wasn't blowing us like Carl's Jr. So we hit the boards, and Taylor just goes. Taylor's never done this before at all, and Taylor just goes, okay, run the camera, and I'll break 10 boards. And we all figured this is going to be great, because if he gets hurt, it's even better, So we're all kind of going, we have a cover for it. We hadn't told Teller, but we had a cover for me to come in a voiceover and go, see, he's an asshole too, right? Like, boom, boom, boom. And Teller goes, whoa, boom, and goes right through him. No training, nothing, 10 boards with chopsticks between them.
Damn.
Because I'm standing there on the set, and I'm ready to like cover, and the one thing I hadn't prepared for
is it working? Him actually doing it.
So you just gotta go. Good.
Hey,
Mars, it's all bullshit. Have you ever broken a board, Mars?
We don't break boards. I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so that's why there's a purple belt in there.
Okay.
Oh.
We don't break boards.
What degree purple belt are you?
Oh, no degrees either.
What?
We just go from white to blue to purple to brown and then black.
But what's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter, a legitimate fighter? As a defense, I would say that's a tremendous self-defense, and that is a martial art. It's like if I had a regular guy with no training like myself against a guy who knows jiu-jitsu, I mean, even a strong guy, stronger than me, is going to lose most times. I mean,
I think the disagreement would be that doesn't happen in human interaction.
Real life.
In human interaction, you're usually outnumbered tremendously, or someone has firepower, or you're in a somehow diminished capacity. Most of your bar fights, for instance, that you're going to get into do not involve two guys with training squaring off against each other. Most of them are just two hits.
And it's very fast, right.
Very fast. And really all you need to learn for martial arts, for bar fights, is be the first one to hit. The guy who is the most angry and actually hits first. What you don't want to do, the stupidest thing to do, is be the guy that hits first and hits softly. You want to be the first guy to hit and hit hard, because the chances are the fight's going to be over in 15 seconds, and you can decide when it starts. So the question is not, for all this stuff, there's nothing wrong if you're seeing it as a physical way to play chess and you're learning about it. What we're really attacking is that there's any sort of standardization, that anything means anything, and that it actually is useful for self-defense. For a woman to not get raped, 44 Magnum, one shell in the head stops rape instantly. The way you walk down the street with confidence, less apt to work. Yeah. But I'll tell you, the 44 Magnum bullet somewhere in the cerebellum, it goes from rape to not rape instantly, just instantly. And the nutty thing is, what always amazes me is that women are the ones that should have guns and should have protection, because they're the ones that are most apt to be smaller and victims. In our, not in our country, in our world, women are victims, men are perpetrators. So, what I've always pushed for is every woman gets a gun. And then the world gets really, really safe. Except for maybe you guys.
It gets a little scary. They would get a little scary.
So our beef is not with people doing it, and not with even, who cares if there's no standardization? If you're doing it to be with your friends and to get more physically fit and to challenge yourself to learn something, that you can't argue with that at all. But if you think that walking down the street when you get mugged by four guys, you're going to be in a better position, I think any martial arts with any sort of morality is going to tell you give up your money, right?
Yeah, you don't want to take on 4
Exactly.
But a woman with 10 years of martial arts training against a woman who has just, say, jogged for 10 years, both equally healthy.
Right. Those two fighting? I'll pay cash money to watch it.
A rapist.
Sorry.
A rapist attacking both, no weapons, say all things being equal, the woman who's just exercised for 10 years or the woman who has trained fairly vigorously at martial arts for 10 years. I think the woman who's had 10 years of martial arts training
has a better chance.
Has a better shot at defending herself, because I think I think you've been trained in counter striking
against a few guys.
No, say one guy. All things being equal, one guy. No, again, a few guys is a rough one. But say one larger guy, a woman who's been trained to kick and trained to punch and trained to grapple has a much better shot at a woman who is just weightlifted at throwing the right punch or throwing the right knee or bending something the right way.
What we find
up a good point. You don't read about
is in the
that.
panic. In the panic situation, you don't really get that. The other thing is, in terms of muggings, you are much better off. It's about $1,000 a year, even for a child's class. Over a period of a few years, you can spend about $1,000. If you have $1,000 in your pocket and you get mugged and just give it to them, it's a much better use of your money and time. You save a lot. The opening of the martial arts show is Teller and I saying, here's our martial arts training. Guys go to bug us and we go, here you go. Here's all we would have spent on martial arts the past 10 years. And the guys go, far out. And that's it. They're just done. And then, we didn't hurt our hands. We didn't fall down. Didn't have to clean the toilets in the strip mall dojo.
That's a great point.
I'm actually happy he said that. As a rapist, I feel much more.
Hey, and one more topic on the new season of Bullshit, Season 8, teen sex. Well, I can't believe Anthony hasn't brought this up to
see that.
Penn Jillette, our fine guest here this morning.
What we wanted to cover with that is all the hysteria on the texting.
Sexting, right?
Our sexting. Our culture has changed tremendously. And there are now, and this is the part that is so horrifying, there are now children, 14, 15 years old, who took pictures of themselves naked to send to friends and are being busted for child pornography. Because the rules on child pornography say that even if it's on yourself, there is no victim. It's a crime against society, so you're the perpetrator. So there are, the one case got ended with the girls who were supposed to go through this whole thing, but there are still cases where, and I'll just tell you, if we had sexting when I was in high school, there would have been pictures of my hard penis sent to every single student and teacher in Greenfield Public High School in 1973.
Yes.
I can't imagine. I might have, maybe Ronnie Pronto, I wouldn't have sent to him. But other than that, every single student, certainly the entire band, they would have all gotten, and that makes me a child pornographer. The other thing that's a problem is state to state, it's very, very different. And many of your sex offenders.
Telling me it's very hard to keep up with those laws.
Well, for instance,
you have to drop a girl off at Delaware and meet me in Virginia.
in Nevada, your age of consent for heterosexual sex is 16. For homosexual sex is 18.
Yes.
So that gives us 2 years head start. I guess that's what they're thinking. We'll let them have some rights, but let's get a head start in there.
Yeah, maybe they'll really adhere to the regular sex and keep that homo stuff out of here.
2 years to get
2 years.
2 years head start. So we're really talking about in the teen sex thing. It comes down to what I always say, which is, the kids are all right. Kids are not doing worse nowadays than they were doing any other generation. Two things are always true. One, the world keeps getting better. Two, people just keep thinking it's getting worse. I mean, we're seeing that a lot. Crime rates in the United States are down insane. I mean, especially New York City.
Yeah.
And yet people have this hysteria about this stuff. And the fact is, yes, 16-year-olds are sexting to each other like crazy. Romeo and Juliet were 14. And when it was first put on, one of them was a guy. So things have not gotten worse since Shakespeare's time.
Yeah, and it's just the technology's changed. Obviously, it's easier to send a picture of your cock to somebody than it would be to have to get the Polaroid out and then write a letter, mail it.
When was the first time you took a Polaroid of your cock? How old were you?
Oh, my God. Let me see. Probably when I first got a Polaroid from my 7th birthday.
Exactly my point.
Yeah.
And you're not doing time as a sex offender for the rest of your
He
life.
didn't take the picture. His uncle did.
Yeah, he's doing time.
It was that 1, 2, 3 smile thing.
Yes. Well, we'll just let this develop.
He is right, though. I mean, in high school, if I could have done it, I would have done it.
done it, right?
I'm 41, and I have no fewer than 10 cock photos on my iPhone.
Send one to Penn. I'd be
How
flattered.
many are yours?
I would say 6 are mine, 4 are enhanced.
And 1 is undetermined.
One is undetermined, yes. It's Lady Gaga. We don't know what that thing is.
What's this I got here?
I don't know.
She's got some kind of...
Someone on the phone said that the 7th season of Bullshit's on DVD. I got a copy in my hand.